With an altercation taking place backstage in AEW and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Son of the late, great Umaga, Zilafat2 talked about wanting to get involved in pro wrestling, telling Muscle Man Malcolm, "To be honest, when I was in prison, I really didn't have it on my mind. But when I came home and I saw that my family was on top of the business, I'm thinking, why not? I don't know if you know or anybody else knows, but my dad didn't want none of us to do wrestling, like at all. That was kind of hard going against what my dad's wishes were. Really, just to get off parole faster. I don't know if you know or anybody else knows, I am on parole right now, so that's a big thing because I heard we can get off parole faster. That's what I'm working on right now. There's a whole bunch of paperwork. It's a big process I have to go through, and obviously I got to stay out of trouble and show them that I'm involved with the community. Yeah, just try to stay positive and not try to go down the bad route. It's in Houston. I'm on parole, so I can't leave the state. Most importantly, he's a really close friend to the family. Before my dad was Umaga, my dad been knowing Booker T since then, so that's a long time. It was an easy choice for me to choose. When I came home, and then I had that discussion with Booker 2 months after being home. We talked about it, and he was just like, just focus on your parole stuff first. When I got some of my parole classes, because when you're on parole, you have to do certain classes and you have to graduate from them. I'm very happy that I successfully completed my classes on parole. That's when I hit Booker up, and I was like, I'm ready. He was like, man, pull up. Reacting to WWE's Royal Rumble event, Ric Flair said on his To Be The Man podcast, "I loved it. What I like about it the most is it's unpredictable. You knew something was going to happen, but you didn't know what. I watched that promo in Philadelphia on Raw 30, which was very entertaining. Sami Zayn, he's good. That really defined him the other night doing that. He hit Roman hard, so it looked good. Roman's a brick house anyway, so it didn't hurt him. But the way he hit him as hard as he hit him, people stood up and went, holy sh. That's what it's all about. WWE right now is in such a hot position where everything's clicking on such a positive note. It's insanity. Everything is just boom, boom, boom. It's incredible. They're not missing a beat. And I don't even hear people talk about AEW, and I'm pretty easy to find. I watch it, but when the WWE get themselves on a roll like this, it just seems like everything else just pales in comparison. I'm not taking anything away from AEW. It's just when WWE is clicking like this between Roman and the Queen, and the stuff with Becky and Bayley is really good, and Sami Zayn and the Usos, these kids, they've all been on top. Rhea has been on top, but not like she is now. She's put herself in a whole new position, and I'm sure she's just overwhelmed with excitement. Just at the opportunity to be there. It's Los Angeles, just the word LA. They're right in the entertainment capital of the world, and it's already sold out, I think, both nights. I can't wait to get there to watch it. With Dijak getting injured during his match against Wesley during the most recent NXT event, many reacted to this writing, man, Dijak suffered a broken finger in the North American title match. Bloody hell, Wesley and Dijak put on an absolute banger. Let's hope Dijak gets his finger relocated ASAP. Dijak broke his finger. I would be crying like a baby from a paper cut. Props to him. Dijak would post a photo of his finger and also of the X-ray following the match. Giving an update on Kyle O'Reilly following his neck fusion surgery in September, Adam Cole told Wrestling Observer Radio, "I talk to him every day. He's doing good. He's doing really well. He's in a situation now where he's working so hard to make sure that he gets healthy as soon as he possibly can, but at the same time making sure that he doesn't rush back. Kyle was really banged up and it got to a point where he kind of couldn't take it anymore. I'm so glad that he got fixed and got healthy and is recovering day by day every day. Early on in the process, I think he was so discouraged because there was so little that he was able to do. But now as time goes on, he's starting to be able to do more and more in therapy and rehab. You see the excitement and wheels turning of him already thinking about how he can't wait to get back. He's in good spirits and he has a lot of people around him that love him a lot." Touching on the upcoming match at WrestleMania between Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley, Booker T noted on his Hall of Fame podcast, it's got to be a master plan. It's got to be something going on there as far as inside of knowledge that I have no clue or idea about, as far as I don't know. Charlotte Flair might have a movie coming. I don't know what it is, but for Rhea Ripley to call that shot against Charlotte Flair, she got to be feeling really confident as far as, what's about to happen. That's just my opinion. Charlotte, she's a big money player, man. She's got a lot, I think she's represented by William Morris Endeavors. Am I correct? Yeah. So she's got a lot on her plate, I'm sure. Charlotte has a show coming out. Yeah. See what I'm saying? So like I said, this could have a lot of implications as far as what's in store for Charlotte's future outside of wrestling. And you're always going to need that person to, step in there and, keep everything rolling. Recalling FTR's release from WWE and debut for AEW, Dax Harwood revealed on his podcast that the day that Mark Carrano called us, so 2 days before the announcement of the Revival's release from WWE was made online, he called us and said, "You don't have to give us an answer right now. Talk about it. Give me a call back." I called Cash. We said, "Should we talk to Cody or the Bucks or Tony?" He said, "Yeah, let's do that." So we sent the Bucks a text and said, "Hey, there's a possibility that we may be leaving WWE. Would you guys ever be interested in having us?" And he said, "Well, I would love to have you." That's all we needed to know. So we called Mark Carrano. "Yes, we agree to your terms. Please give us our release and thank you." So he gave us our release. The following day, whenever the contracts were cut and we got the paperwork from Mark Carrano that said we were officially released, is when we started talking contracts with Tony Khan. We had no 90-day non-compete clause. That was our ask. If we give all this and you take all this money from us, at least just let us not have the 90 days. Let us just go out and do what we need to do immediately. It seems NXT could be working with independent promotions, as Booker T's Reality of Wrestling announced. Reality of Wrestling is taking the roster to the next level. We are proud to announce that we'll be working with NXT to bring our fans incredible matchups they can't see anywhere else. Don't miss the chance to see NXT's Ivy Nile in action on Saturday, February 11th in Texas City. Excited to merge my NXT favorites with the roster of my students at Reality of Wrestling. Don't miss a huge show next Saturday. Can't wait to see Ivy Nile in the World Gym Arena. Giving more potential details for this deal as well as others, Dave Meltzer noted on Wrestling Observer Radio, it could be something really bad. Ivy Nile is going to work a show in a couple of weeks for Booker T's Reality of Wrestling. Shawn Michaels actually said it's a one-time thing. What I understand as far as Reality of Wrestling, they expect to get some NXT stars from time to time. Brian is basically correct that there are several companies that are talked to with the idea that they may be able to get NXT stars, but the Booker T thing has to go well. If it goes well, there are other companies, and I think they are targeting companies that are close to AEW and see what they can do. After his walkout on the Bloodline during the Rumble and absence from the following SmackDown, possible plans for Jey Uso were brought up on Wrestling Observer Radio. Braun Strowman and Ricochet have to wrestle the Usos next week, so that's a weird one. So maybe they can't keep Jey out. Maybe Solo. Can they do that? I guess they sort of established that on Raw, the Adam Pearce thing. I know Jimmy and Solo did a dark match against Gallows and Anderson last night, so they are giving them experience as a team, or at least one match as a team. Perhaps that is where they will go. Speaking about what could come of Comcast being unlikely to purchase WWE, Dave Meltzer said on Wrestling Observer Radio, they need to make it look like people want them. But if word is out that Comcast doesn't, that might hurt the sale, because that might lower the value. People might go, if Comcast is paying all this money for them and they don't trust, and the only way you wouldn't is that you don't want to make the right now because everything is so uncertain, or as much as wrestling's history is what it is, you don't have full trust that it'll be forever. Ahead of his WrestleMania showdown against Roman Reigns for the undisputed title, Royal Rumble winner Cody Rhodes faced off against Seth Rollins, where he threw a beer at the Star at a live event. Here's the video. According to a recent report, there was a backstage altercation between Ricky Starks and Swerve Strickland in AEW, with it said that not all of the backstage AEW fisticuffs have resulted in long-term issues. A couple of top performers in All Elite Wrestling have admitted that they got into a skirmish in 2022. Swerve Strickland and Ricky Starks were involved in a tag team championship match at AEW Double or Nothing, which led to a scuffle per the two men. Fightful Select had reported last year that there had been some issues between the two after the match due to a miscommunication. However, this was the first we'd heard of it elevating to scuffle status. We're told that the issues stemmed from a miscommunication late in the match, where there was an unplanned spot that saw Swerve attack Ricky Starks after an attempted pin on Jungle Boy. Starks was originally supposed to go for his finish on someone, but Swerve found himself doing nothing and thought it would be a better improv to get hit and dumped out of the ring, otherwise he'd be standing there watching it. We had heard that they had a follow-up segment on Dynamite after that nixed, but made peace after that, and are fine to this day. They even worked together a couple of months later on AEW Fyter Fest. We're told that the two spoke about the scuffle while on the Jericho Cruise for an upcoming episode of Swerve's podcast, where you can check out at this link. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later.